see it.
Yes! Welcome, everyone. My name is Ivy Ramirez, and with me is my co-creator, Marlene Gamble. And this is another episode of Fuck Customer Service.
Happy blow shit up day!
Well, yeah, we didn't record for a couple weeks because I was sick, and surprisingly, I take a lot longer to heal from being sick
Weenus.
than... Wait, what?
I called you a weenus.
You're a weenus. What the fuck? I don't know when we're gonna upload this because just like Mother's Day, this is probably gonna be like late, but you know, ish. Happy blow shit up day ish.
I still have all my fingers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I keep picturing Final Destination, where they have that 4th of July scene, and then there's like fireworks, and then I think somebody gets hit in the face with a firework,
Bro,
and that's how they die.
you can't bring that movie up because that is like the epitome of all my fears. Like, you won't drive behind a fucking car or a truck that has like piles of logs, or like if there's like a bunch of stuff like hanging out the back, I won't go behind that car, like at all, like zero. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to slow down like a grandma. I'm going to let like 10 people go in front of me, and then we'll drive.
The hell, Grandma? Just speed past it. If you speed past it, then you're not behind it. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but
you don't drive behind it and just stay behind it.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Elevators, it took me a long time. Okay? Walking down the sidewalk, I'm like always looking.
No. With elevators, the one with that one, I don't know if you've seen this movie, but The Omen, the second one where he's a freaking adolescent, that's the one that got me, because to this day, I am 37 years old. To this day, if I'm in an elevator, I am picturing that scene almost every time. Like, even if there's people with me, but more so when I'm by myself, that there's gonna be this freaking cable that's gonna come down and slice me in half. Because that was just so horrific in my mind, to have just no awareness of what's going on. You just hear some noise, and then you
stand in the corner, don't you?
I do stand in the corner. I actually do stand in the corner.
But you imagine, having been sliced like that, and then like having it happen so fast that your body doesn't even know what happened to you. Kind of like when you cut your finger really fast, like you don't bleed and you're just like staring at it, and it takes like a good maybe 10 seconds before it starts bleeding.
Well, that's similar to the Kingsman, when that one girl with the legs, with the girl knives with for legs or whatever, Giselle. When Giselle, I think it's Giselle, she goes and she has like these attachments to her legs that are like knives or whatever. And she like slices up this guy right down the middle, and then he falls in 2 halves and whatever as well. And it's just like, he's just standing there for like a couple seconds though, and then you see him like kind of start peeling down, and it's that whole like slow-mo thing. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it happens so fast when you're being sliced like that you just like, it doesn't register, and then like next thing you know, you're dead. Those are some fear, because what you're describing are things that you should be faster at doing anyway, so that you're not afraid of it. You're just like petrifying yourself more by taking longer behind the log truck or whatever.
Fuck you, dude. Like, you don't know what's in front of that thing. Like, he could slam on his brakes and just like take you out. So, yeah, maybe I should go around, but then what if that ultimately seals my fate of what's gonna happen? See? So,
by that example, why would you ever go outside? Because anything can happen
That's
to you.
why I don't fucking drive.
Oh my god. Then you're just living a life of fear that is absolutely asinine.
You're asinine. No, I am proud of myself for going out and about yesterday.
You drove during CERN?
I did. Like
Dang.
I know this
of
whole,
all the
this
times
whole
to
thing,
drive
yes,
with how scary.
I know you were fucking telling me about CERN, and then so like they're like, oh, it's gonna start. They start giving like the times when. Anyways, they cranked that bitch up, and I like woke up at 6:50, and I'm like, okay, well, here we go. I'm gonna zap out of this universe, and then my kid called me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm still in this one, so. And then I come back, and I'm like, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel a shift. I didn't feel nothing. So.
You know why, right?
Why?
Because it didn't happen yesterday.
Oh, I know.
It happened on April 25th, and they lied to us.
Lied.
They lied.
Bunch of lies. Bruh, we got moon landed.
We did. I saw the video on TikTok where someone said, did anybody pay attention to this? And it like shows a close-up of the quote-unquote lies. It should be called the lie.
The lie.
We're here live.
That's probably what
CERN.
they were saying. But we just, our ears just fill it in. Like, oh yeah, we're live. No, we're here live.
But speaking of blow shit up day, I find it interesting that even though we celebrate our freedom, it's like you kind of don't have a lot of freedoms nowadays. Everything is just being, everything is so PC and so touchy, and I'm just like,
right?
I mean, not touchy, but you know, like it's like, oh, you know, don't say this, don't do that, don't da da da, and it's just like, I know, I get it. Like I am all about let's respect each other, let's love each other, you know, let's make sure we're not being ignorant, and willfully ignorant, right? But at the same time, it's like, okay, but where does it stop? Because we're just going to keep going and like trying to say, oh, well, you know what? We don't do that anymore. We can't say that anymore. We don't this. And it's just like, okay, so how do I express myself? What can I do for you to understand what I'm trying to say?
It's almost like we're not allowed to express ourselves the way we want to, because then the other people or other cultures are gonna like jump all over you for saying something.
Right. And the thing too is, like I'm saying, so not trying to get behind ignorance, right? Like I'm not saying, hey, you're using derogatory language like on purpose and you're like doing that. That's a different story. I'm not saying hate crimes or like hate speech in any way. I'm saying if we're trying to just like we're just communicating, we're just expressing, and it's part of what we used to use. Just for me, I think it people kind of in some cases go overboard with how much they like focus on these things, because to me it's like if we go to another country, there's certain gestures that we use that are insults to them.
Right.
And it's like, but unless you know that going there, if I'm used to just waving, like when I see someone walking by and it's like, oh hey, and it's just like, but I'm in this other place, it's like I've now insulted them. But see, to me it's like, if I'm not meaning it that way, like if I'm not meaning harm by what it is that I'm saying or doing, it shouldn't be inferred that way by the other party. At that point, it becomes, do you get upset for the sake of just, you know, wanting to? Because especially if, like I said, I'm not doing or saying what I'm doing derogatorily. Is that a word?
Yeah.
In a derogatory manner. because it's just like, dude, where does this stop? Like, it's going to get to the point where we're going to go back to grunts and hieroglyphics, because otherwise, there's just always someone that's gonna take something the wrong way, and it's like, dude, but I didn't even like, I'm not attacking you. This isn't an attack. I'm just saying, like, I'll give you a great example. One hot button word for this is gay. A lot of people from the 80s and 90s, they use the word gay as lame, and I come from that generation. A lot of our movies and TV shows were using that like it's nothing. And I find it interesting how far we've come in TV, because we used to be like free about that type of shit, and then things like bitch and fuck and shit even were censored. And then little by little, they're like, okay, well, shit's okay now, but you still can't say bitch or fuck. And then they're like, okay, no, now bitch is okay, but you still can't say fuck. And it's like, okay, now fuck is okay, but you can't say gay. And it's just like, what? And it's like, it like completely just, and it's confusing, because it's like, again, I'm not trying to hurt anybody by saying gay when I'm saying lame. I understand. Please do not cancel culture us from this episode, but I'm saying, like, I'm not trying to offend somebody. Like, it'd be different if I'm telling somebody, right, in that group where I'm saying, oh, that's so homosexual, that's so faggy, that's so man on man or woman on woman, like, that's so that, like, then I'm coming after that. I'm coming after the LGBTQ at that point. It's like, if that is a hate, like, expression. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying gay as lame, because that's what I knew. And I know that I had one of my friends tell me this. If you right now know that gay is a hot button for people, that gay as lame is a hot button for people, and you do it, like, you say it again, like, knowingly, you are choosing ignorance. So on the first time you get a pass, it slipped out, whatever, or you didn't know. But if you're continuing to do it, at that point you're choosing ignorance, and then you don't get a pass, and then there is no excuses for making that choice. And I'm just like, okay, but that's like me getting on my horse about the word bitch. I don't like the word bitch. I am the one person you could probably find. Well, actually, no. There's probably others. But I prefer cunt. Dude, call me a cunt all day long, and I will not care, dude, because it's biology. It'd be the same as calling a guy a dick. Call a guy a dick, he has a dick. Call a girl a cunt, she has a cunt. Cool. Biology. Got it. Right? Calling someone a bitch, that's more psychological. That's more like, I fucking did something to you for you to call me a bitch. Like, now we're gonna fucking spar, and like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this shit, because why are you calling me a bitch? But, and I know I'm getting long-winded on this one, but how is it okay to normalize bitch, and these other words are like off hands, like they're off, like do not touch these other words. And I'm just like, okay, but again, I don't like that word. And so it's kind of like it's being forced, like the acceptance of the word bitch is being forced onto the people. And so like now I have to come from that mindset of, you know what? I know you don't mean it like that. I'm not going to get upset by you calling me a bitch. I know you're saying boss ass bitch, bad ass bitch, bitch ass bitch. I know how you're meaning it. So me hearing the word bitch does not affect me, right? But at the end of the day, I still don't like it, even though it slips out of my mouth. I've called, like, I think we called Nancy a bitch.
Oh yeah, like, well fuck that bitch.
Fuck you, bitch.
Well, yeah, well, like, Nancy deserves it, okay?
Well, but there is a and that's what I'm saying. There is a psychological thing tied to that. She was being a bitch, and that's what I'm saying here. It's like there has to be something to where we say, like, okay, where are we drawing this line, dude? Because I feel like I'm having to accept everything and all of the changes that is happening in society, but it's like, but then I go to try to express myself, and it's like, oh my God, no, you didn't. We don't say that anymore. You can't use that. You are not this race, or you are not this group, or you are not this. And I'm just like, what? Why am I getting censored?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what the fuck?
That's what I mean. It's like, you're used to using these things or using words or expressing your language the way you feel is proper for yourself, but then like when it comes up, it's like, oh, you can't say that because you're not brown or you're not whatever, you know?
Yeah, like the word like nigga gets used in movies and songs and everything all the time. I actually love the Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. Drops the N-word in that fucking song. I don't know how many fucking times. Nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. And I'm like, okay. But, of course, I, like, am not black. And I now feel like there's some sort of stigma for me to do that, like karaoke, because I have to censor myself as I'm singing it. Even though, but then it's like I'm like walking on eggshells to purposely censor myself. And
right.
and the thing is, it's in front of other adults. Why can't I say that? And it's part of the song. It's the song. It's just the song. And again, I'm not meaning it as, oh, I'm calling out all of these people in the audience that just happen to be African American, and I'm just like using Ice Cube as my card to say this. Like, yes, you can make the argument that in a way I am, but it's also just, dude, it's just a word. It's just a word that is not even being directed. Again, it's not being directed with hate of anything.
Yeah.
So if I say gay, I just don't get where all this other shit has to be forced on us. But when we do it, it's just like the most offensive thing ever. And then now we're being canceled because we we didn't bite our tongue or we didn't watch what we said or did in front of certain people. And I think that's bananas. I think if you infer it negatively, that's kind of on you, dude. Because that's the same as, like I said, with me and the word bitch. If I infer it negatively, that's on me. But I make the conscious choice of not taking it personal when people call me a bitch, because I know they don't mean it like that.
Right. And I think that's where the line needs to be drawn, is you have to... This is basically the result of safe places. Like, oh, I don't like that, I'm going to go to my safe place. Whereas when we were growing up, pretty much if you didn't like something, it was like either you leave the conversation or you sit there and you deal with what's going on.
Right. What's going to be like, you know how many slurs we get as Hispanics? Like, and I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't give a shit. Call me a wetback. So what? My ancestors came through here at some point. I mean, I didn't. I didn't fucking swim here, but you call me a wetback, I don't give a shit. Like, again, I'm not saying it's okay. It's what we want. Like, I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah. It was so nerve-wracking for me when we went to LA this one time, and we went to a football game, and I'm like, okay, where we live, there isn't very many African Americans. So I was just like, I wonder how my son's going to react. Not to say that he doesn't see, African Americans on TV or on his shows, that he watches. But I mean, like, in person, how is he going to react? Because he is on the spectrum, and he tends to just say whatever's on his mind. Like, right. Why are you so dark? Just like he blurts it out, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get jumped or something. It just comes out, he's not meaning it in a bad way. It's just his mind wants to know. Like, he doesn't know how to sugarcoat things. Yeah. It's pretty much like, what's that guy on The Big Bang Theory? Sheldon. He's basically like a Sheldon. Like, if he sees something, he's gonna just say it. Yeah. Like, he doesn't know how to soften his words. So we call an Uber, and the Uber in LA is African American, and he has a heavy African accent. So my husband, once we got, situated, he asked him, oh, where are you from? And he said, I am from, I don't know, one of the like Nigeria or something, but he had like a really heavy accent. And then my son says, oh, Nigeria is in Africa. And he's like, yes, I am from Africa. And then so the conversation went on, and then we said bye, whatever, thank you. And then on the way back from the stadium, we got another Uber driver. Mind you, both cars were black, and the drivers were also black. And we get in the car, and the guy's name was Marcus. The first driver was named Marcus. So we get in the car, and my son just says, oh, hi, Marcus, thinking it was the same guy.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, oh my God, here we go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, baby, this isn't Marcus. He has the same car. Like, I tried to like soften it, like, oh, the other driver we had the same kind of car. And I was like, no, this isn't Marcus. This is, I think his name was like, Jamal. Yeah, his name was Jamal. And, I'm like, this is, Jamal. And he's like, oh yeah, hi, Jamal. And then he's like, are you? And I'm like, are you from here? Like, I kind of like cut in, right?
You interjected it.
Yeah. Like, I didn't want him to say, are you from Africa? No, I interjected to say, are you from here? And then he's like, yeah, are you from here? And then he's like, yeah, I live on Hawthorne or something. And then he's like, Hawthorne? And I'm like, that's the street couple streets down. And it's things like that you just never know, like, what's going to be said or how people are going to react.
Yeah. Because it's like, dude, and again, I don't know how many of our fans right now, how many of our listeners are put off by this topic. But like, I mean, as I said at the beginning, I'm not trying to impose any hate of anything here. Like, love who you love, wherever you're from, and everybody, let's, be happy. But I know that's just idealistic, and that's not usually the case. And as I said, I've been at the receiving end of certain slur things or hateful slurs. But I mean, again, it's up to the person to receive it that way, if that's how they want to come across, and especially if the person isn't meaning it that way. And then the other thing too is, like, for instance, God. We're having to like censor God. So it's like, so ever since I've been here, America has always been God, freedom, and the American dream, or the pursuit of happiness, or whatever. And it's like slowly it's like it's being taken out of everything that we do and say. And I know that everybody should be entitled to their freedom of religion and freedom of no religion and freedom of whatever. And it's like, okay, but again, it's to the point where we're cancel culturing God. We're cancel culturing God, bro. Like that, that's bananas to me, because it's like, it'd be different if you don't want to accept it as the thing. And I know, again, progressive, like as you progress as a nation, you want to include more things and whatever. And so I get all that. I'm like, it's to the point though that like you almost feel like it's uncomfortable. Like you're going to offend somebody by saying God bless you, or oh thank God, or whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, I just want to be able to express myself. And it seems like it's like I can't. Like I'm in this little box and I'm just like, what do I do? What do I say? How do I blink? I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, and I'm like apologizing when I'm not even needing to apologize. But the fact that I feel like I need to apologize now makes me look like I'm the asshole, because why do I feel like I need to apologize if I'm not doing anything wrong? And it's like, but and it's just like, oh, dude, I can't live like that. I can't live like that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel like I'm a robot about to short circuit with all of the changes that they're making to our speech our speech patterns.
Right. Yeah. When they say like, oh, we're going to take it off the money, or we're going to take it out of the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever. Like, I don't know if it was just because the teacher would do it, but like it was public school and we would do the Pledge of Allegiance and then we would do a small prayer in the morning. And that, like, growing up Christian, it felt like, okay, I'm in a safe place. God is with me and I can do anything, Yep. And when they stopped doing that, it was kind of like, it felt wrong. It felt like, oh, now you can't do that here. Like, God's not welcome here. And it's like, but why? You know, like, why are we removing this? And then, you know, not to say that we get the school shootings, but I mean, if you put morality, or you put like there's some sort of higher being like watching over you, the school shootings started happening, and like it getting like more violent in schools and stuff. And it was just like,
oh, kind of like, so once they started removing God as like a higher power, then like people just started, they like opened the door for violence.
Pretty much, because then it was like, oh well, you know, I feel this way, I feel alone, and there's like nobody who understands, or nobody who can help me, right?
I could see that. I mean, I don't know that would be the case all the time, but I mean, I can see that how people would get there if they aren't being taught that, hey, there is, you know, you come to terms with your own religion however you want to, but in the event that you want to open yourself to this possibility, here's this. And I know that, again, some people are going to take this and say like, well, because of it, you have to be inclusive to everybody having freedom. And that's what I'm saying is like, that's what America was, though. Our founding fathers thought that. And I know that there's other things that our founding fathers believed in that we no longer do. Especially with like how they used to treat women and stuff, and like the whole women's rights thing has come a long way. But what I'm saying is, again, it's like something like that, to where it's like, in God we trust. Yes, it's good to be progressive about certain things and have like, as a whole, we're trying to like all be on the same page to be able to have that kumbaya. But I'm sorry to say, it's just, that's an idealistic dream that's just never going to happen on this earth, because of the fact that people want to cling on to their freedom, and that can mean so many different things to so many different people. And it's like, dude, at the end of the day, this is still America, dude. Like, why am I having to walk on eggshells because, you know, Brittany or Bobby want to fucking take what I say in the worst fucking possible way? And it's just like, all right, man, I can't even, like, why bother going outside at that point?
Right. But I mean, going back to the disciplining in schools, right? I mean, that used to be, well, a part of learning respect for other people, you know? And then, like, it was like, okay, well, you got disciplined. They called your parents, and then your parents probably disciplined you again. But at the same time, reprimanding your children in public is basically frowned upon, like you said. And it's like, okay, so now the child knows you can't do anything to me. Like, if I'm out there and I'm throwing a tantrum because I want something and I'm not getting it, I can scream and holler and yell all I want, and you can't touch me.
And not only that, dude, the kid can call you a bitch, can call you an N-word, can call you like fucking anything. Say that you're killing them, say that you molest them, say all this shit, and you're just standing there like, no, I don't. Oh my God.
Right?
Oh my
All
God.
because they didn't get that stupid fucking Ryan toy. Fucking hate that kid. Anyways.
Yeah, and then everybody's quick with their phone, like, oh my God, this fucking kid.
This fucking kid is like,
and I'm like,
probably abused.
Or not the kid, this fucking parent.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's not how it is. Like, they're just upset. They didn't get what they want, and they know they can do this shit. I mean, at that point, like, if that ever happens to me, I'll be like, you know what? Call them.
Like, I come from, you know, I've said it a couple episodes back, like, I come from an abusive household, and I just, you know, I am all for let's teach our kids and just each other, let's teach each other how to deal with things respectfully. We are, you know,
like we
conscious beings, we are able to,
and get
express ourselves.
Use our words. That's our thing. We use our words. Like, we don't scream, because I nipped that. I stopped that really early on. And it's like those simple things. It's like, if you baby them, oh my God, I can't stand when people fucking baby talk their child. I fucking hate that. Like, okay, what are you setting them up to do? You know, it's like you're setting them up to be clingy. You're setting them up to be whiny. You're setting them up to be just annoying as fuck. Because then when they want something, oh, mommy, I want me. It's like, what kind of fucking octave are they talking in? Like, there's regular baby talk, like, they speak it, and then it's like, they're fucking whining about something, and I'm just like, ugh. And, like, for the longest time, I didn't want kids because of that. And I'm like, okay, I can't fucking handle that shit. I can't handle that shit at all. And it's just like, it's different when it's your own. But, I mean, I'm still not going to baby my son. Like, I see other kids and they're just so clingy and they're whiny and it's just like, oh, dude. They try that shit with me and I'm like, what? I'm sorry. I kind of feel like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp, the Johnny Depp one, where one of the kids is like very naggy and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. And he's like, what? I can't hear mumbles.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, that's me. Like, don't talk to me that way because I can't hear what you're saying. I'm choosing to not hear what you're saying until you can talk to me regularly.
I'm actually kind of guilty of that as an adult, just because I think it's hilarious when people's like, but why? I just wanted to go over there. Fucking, it's so hilarious to me. I don't know why. But obviously I don't speak that way all the time. That's just how when I'm trying to be funny, like I do that.
You do your whiny voice.
Come on.
That is a quick way to not come on. Like, you know what? I think I hear my laundry. Who's there?
Come on.
And this is how we come to the topic of not opening your doors to strangers. Apparently, I have this bad habit of doing things. No knock knocks.
But I just want to leave this episode with this, like, dude, in all respect, like, seriously, in all respect, I have nothing against the LGBTQ community, other races, other groups, other whatever, like, just...
Right. We're all human.
Like, we're all human, and, like, we all know what, like, the difference between just basic right and wrong, and then it's just, like, if you're wanting me to accept something as okay, and it's, like, you're able to get the unlimited card of saying and expressing whatever you want to express... That should be for everybody. So long as it's not being implied negatively, you shouldn't infer it negatively. And therefore, we can all just get along. Like, truly fucking melting pot this shit. Like, freedom. Freedom!
Yeah. Freedom.
Which I know opens the, like, slippery slope to, like, bad things, because then that's also freedom. And then, like, people are going to make the argument for guns and all of violence and da-da-da. And it's just like...
You're thinking about it too hard.
No, I'm just saying that's just like that's how this goes, like for the same like how the same rabbit hole that we just had last episode, that same rabbit hole applies to like anything. You give like a fucking like an inch and they take a mile, and it's just like, all right, now we're trying to normalize sodomy or some other fucking really messed up shit because of this episode, and it's like that's not what we're saying. So please know that I love everyone, and well, obviously there's certain people that I don't, because don't promote hate. But let's just all be adults when we're interacting with each other and not try to impose this type of shit, because it just causes more division. In the end, it just causes more division.
It does.
And then
let's just love people as people and be decent.
Yeah.